This song is called Back with the Boom, but it's with a V. I don't know why it's with a V. I'm just excited to listen to some brand new music this year, and you guys should go and check out Pulse Demon in the description right down below. Either way, let's fucking rock. The tempo is fucking nuts. Was that it? Was that it? Don't be over. Oh my god, we're not over. Okay. Wow. I have to compose my head. My hat's like drilling into my brain right now because of these headsets. They just push into your head. What the fuck, bro? One of the best artists from the whole fucking year, and I haven't even heard more than one song from these guys. Holy shit. Go and check out Pulse Demon in the description right down below. Go and give them some comments right now. Send them to all your reaction friends. Everyone needs to react to this shit. This is fucking awesome, Matt.
You're listening to the Media Man Dan Podcast. Promoting people with passion all over the globe. Interviews every weekend. Album reactions every month. This is your host, Media Man Dan. Let's rock! What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Media Man Dan Podcast. It is so great to see your amazing faces, even though I can't see you at all. But who I can see today is an incredible duo down in the great state of Texas. We got Pulse Demon, and these guys are fucking epic. If you've ever heard Kumbaya, or if you've ever heard anything in the genre of metal, or if you've heard a little bit of new metal in your life, you will absolutely love their sound and love their style. These dudes bring it no matter what they're creating, and I know that you're going to fall in love and sing Kumbaya with Kumbaya. Welcome to the podcast, Pulse Demon. It's great to have you guys here. How you doing today?
Thank you. Oh yeah, we're doing good.
That was one hell of a fucking intro.
Yeah, we had a slow start, but we're good. We're good.
No, this was a perfect start. We had a great pre-chat. We were able to meet each other, and we were able to talk about so many things in so little time. And that's what I love to do, is I gather all the information. We got Teddy Smith here, who is an absolute legend of the scene, been around since the 90s, creating incredible music, mixing cassette tapes. Who would have ever thought you could do that? That's absolutely crazy. I commend you, sir, for your amazing passion. And of course, we got Matt Cantu here for the third time on the podcast, an absolute legend of the scene in the modern day, who has been making incredible music based on cartoons, as well as he is just making extremely heavy, emotional songs as well. Thanks for being here, dude, and it is so great to have you guys both here. I have so many questions about your music overall. What, really influenced Pulse Demon to be created?
Well, I guess we should probably talk about how we met, right?
Yeah, I don't even remember that story.
So basically what happened was this is around the time that I had put out After Hours, my
that's right.
My Adult Swim covers EP, and I had gotten interviewed on Corpus Christi Originals, which is a local podcast here in town. Teddy actually had gotten interviewed on there as well, I believe, and he had seen my episode and he reached out. And he was like, hey, man, I'm a DJ and stuff, and I have this song, and I really want heavy guitars on it. Can you do it? I heard your project, and it's dope. And I was like, okay, this will be kind of interesting, right? So he sends me the track, and it was called I Am the God. And I was like, okay, I fuck with this title. And I heard it, and even, without the guitars on there, just the production and the overall structure was fucking amazing. And then it had this random jazz interlude, out of nowhere, as in the middle of all the electronics. And I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker's the real deal, dude. Okay, I'll do it, right? And at the time, I was still recording my guitars at Omega Records in Kingsville with my buddy Abe. So I sent the track to Abe, and I was like, hey, this guy really wants me to do guitars on here. Like, let's try it out. He's like, yeah, bring it. So I come over there with my 8-string, and I'm coming up with like the little riffs and stuff. And I didn't want to go like too crazy on it because at the time it was Teddy's song through and through. So I just needed to add like enough of my pizzazz to, beef it up and amp it up a little bit. And we recorded it, we threw some salt on the steak per se. And, I sent him the guitar tracks and he was cool with them. And I think after about like a week or so, he put it out on his SoundCloud first before we put it on streaming services. But we were definitely doing a lot of promotion and stuff for it. And within the first 24 hours or so, we had gotten, I think, like 7,000 streams on just SoundCloud alone. And he sends me the screenshot, and I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, dude, I think we might be onto something. And then before I knew it, he's like, hey, you know what? I got another one that we could work on. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, hey, I got another one and another one and another one.
Another one.
And there was this one weekend where he was actually doing a DJ gig at Flock. So I was like, well, fuck it. Let me go hang out with him, and check out his set. Right. So we meet for the first time there and we're talking about everything. And I tell him, and I'm like, yo, dude, if we're going to be making like all of this music together, like we might as well just, come up with like a project or something. And he was like, okay, I'm down for that. But yeah, how are we going to do it? Is it going to be like Teddy Smith featuring Matt Cantu, like how we did it with the first song, or like, are we coming up with a new project altogether? So I had told him, like, let's do a totally different project. That way, we could differentiate whatever the fuck this is from your solo stuff and my solo stuff. And it'll just be like, a collaborative effort type of thing. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then at that point, he was like, well, let's start coming up with names. So I was like, all right. So I went home and I sent him a list of like 10 or 15 different names. And ironically, there were majority of like dark type Pokemon moves, like Dark Pulse was in there and some other like random shit. But the one name that stood out was Pulse Demon. And he was like, hey, I think this goes fucking hard, because we wanted a name, because Teddy had told me too, we wanted a name that was going to represent both sides of the music. So the Pulse represents this guy, because when you go to the club and, he's spinning his tracks, that bass that you feel in your chest, that's the Pulse. And then the Demon is obviously your boy, because a lot of the times I write these riffs like in the minor scale, they're really fucking heavy. And, rock and metal was always associated with the devil. So I just kind of said, fuck it, and just, leaned into it. And in reality, I got the name from a Japanese noise artist called Merzbow. He had an album called Pulse Demon, and I heard it for the first time in like 2016. And I always thought the name went fucking hard. And I was like, dude, this would be such a killer name for like a metal band. And I held on to it, and thankfully, Homeboy was cool with it, and thus, we were born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to say this, though. There's another Pulse Demon out there for you guys that are like, wait, I've never been able to find these guys. TX at the end, if you guys are searching for this band. Make sure that you don't type in regular Pulse Demon, because there's obviously other artists that have similar names, but they probably don't have the incredible story that we just heard from Matt Cantu. Teddy, what do you remember?
I'm a lover of music, listen to all types of things. One of my favorite bands, Candiria, they're like a new metal infused with like heavy metal, and they do rap and all that stuff, but they have major influences in a lot of jazz. So there was this one song called Without Water, and there's a song that they just like all of a sudden they go freaking, they're heavy, boom, just the jazz drums, the leads, the bass. I was like, holy crap, how can I find that? How can I do something like that? So one day out of nowhere, I went searching for samples, found my drum samples that I was going to use, found this sick little bass, and threw in a sax, got dirty with it, and I put it all together. wrapped it all up in a little package, sent it into the studio. He didn't expect me to come out with this.
Mhm.
He didn't think I was that. He didn't know that I was that integrated with being a metalhead, being in that way. So when I came out with that, he was like, "Oh shit! Like you're not just a DJ.
You're a goddamn genius."
When I sent it to him, I think I remember in the message. He's like, "Oh shit! Like, all right." Ever since then, that's how I write with Pulse Demon. Is like I gotta write my way, and then I gotta write the song that's gonna help him in that transition. So if that means I got to put some VST guitars together so I can give him my idea of where I'm thinking the song is, where it goes.
Mhm.
And then I was like, you don't have to use what I'm using. Create your own part, whatever it is. I don't care. As long as it fits what we're doing, you're good.
Early on, it was like that too. Like he would send me like guitarless tracks, and like I mentioned before, sometimes it was either a drum beat or it was like 90% of the song. But there were sections where I could hear, like in my head, like what the riff would kind of sound like. And at the time, both me and Teddy were like on the same page in terms of like what, the riffs would more than likely sound like. Like he had like his little idea, and we were kind of like on the same wavelength, maybe some variations here and there. But I would send him like all these guitars, send it to him, and like with Fuerza Corpitos, for example, like with that song, we kept pretty much everything. I think the only thing that really changed was like one little section. Like there was like a palm mute thing that I was doing, so we switched up the rhythm at that point. But now, like with the newer stuff that's coming out, since he has like the VST and he just got a 7-string. So we both play guitar, so now we're able to like really come together and come up with parts that really serve the songs well.
Yeah.
Quick question for Teddy. Since you are a little bit more, seasoned in every form of music, did you check out Mr. Bungle when you were first listening to all of those different ones? Because I think that's like the band that everyone talks about is like just so experimental and so off from what you would expect from
they were
band.
They were legends in their time, man. They were kind of the ones that kind of just migrated so many different styles of music. There's another band called I Mother Earth, one of the other bands that experimented. Fishbone, if you ever listen to Fishbone.
Oh yeah, Fishbone.
They're the same. They're the same way. I mean, it's like they just kind of broke the barrier of not just being classified as new metal or hard rock or whatever else. And those are the type of bands that I like to listen to because they always break the barriers of what genres can be and how everybody can be like, oh, they're this or they're that. It's like they're just music, they're metal, they're whatever, but they just have their own sound, and that's what makes those kind of bands even better.
Yeah, truly. And with uniqueness, it's kind of the way to stand out these days, because there's a lot of people that have been following a formula for a long time, which is the pop formula, the simple and easy one verse, one chorus, one verse, one chorus, bridge, final chorus, and usually pitch change. But like, I love hearing a band that takes it and does whatever it wants with it. Like, you guys made music that blew my mind from the first time I reacted to it. And that's why I'm like, I need to find that song again, besides obviously the reaction. Because I just I'm inspired to hear more music like that. It's just so different and it's so fun. And I mean, I had a blast. It's so EDM inspired at the same time. It's got so much like new metal as well, and then it's like heavy breakdown moments. Like, everything I want in all forms of music is in that song, and I love it.
So what happened was, Back with the Boom came out of it was another song that I had sitting around. It was never meant to be released as a metal style sound, so I started messing with it, and I started like kind of like adding stuff and guitars and whatever else, and then I sent it to a friend of mine, and he's a vocalist out in Amsterdam, and I was like, he's like, oh dude, I gotta get on this guy. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, before they go, let me send it to Matt, and Matt got on it. Matt, he was like, holy shit, dude, like this is like fucking insane. And he wrote to it. He put it all together, and he's like, well, who gonna, how is this gonna be like an instrumental? I was like, no, I got people, and I sent it back to this guy. Next day, he had already had the vocals recorded, layered out. All I had to do was line everything back up when I got into my DAW, and I put it all together. I mastered it down and mixed it down. I made Matt's guitar sound beefy as fuck, and then, but he didn't like really expect the drums to be in there. And then there was a drop where he kind of raps, and I have the drums just going, it was like, dude, and all of a sudden, like, you expect to kind of level out, and it just goes right back into the thing. And when he was like 1, 2, back with the boom, and then you just feel the build, and it was like, I ain't changing this shit.
Yeah, and throw all the palm mutes in there.
Yeah, I was like, I ain't changing this shit, and it mixed so well, dude. There's like people like that have heard it. They were like, dude, like, what the fuck?
I've actually showed it to a couple of my patients, like in the bus rides, and they're like freaking the fuck out. They're like, what the hell? Like, this is so different and so original. And we even got the attention of Ralph D'Amato, the producer of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, because the song recently got added to the Cheapskate soundtrack. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's an early access on Steam. So if you love arcadey skateboarding games like THPS, go check it out. It's only $5, and it always will be. And there's gonna be constant updates and whatnot. It's not perfect at the moment because early access is early access for a reason. So take it with all the grains of salt in the world. But it's just a huge, like, full circle moment for me having that song in that game, because I grew up playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I got into Kiss because of Tony Hawk's Underground. I wouldn't be into music if it wasn't for that iconic soundtrack. So I owe a lot to the THPS series in terms of my musical upbringing. So the fact that I have a song in basically a THPS successor, like, to me, that's bigger than selling out Wembley Stadium. That's bigger than having a Grammy. Like, that is, like, when that happened, I was like, shit, I fucking made it. Like,
Wembley Stadium, Bato. Wembley Stadium.
Wembley.
Not Wembley.
I don't know how to fucking read. I went to school in San Diego, Texas, not California.
And listen, Grammys are overrated. You don't ever want those. They're always chosen. It's kind of the same thing with presidents. They're selected, not elected. It's how it always goes. The people are preset, and that's why I think Eminem and a bunch of other artists, like, just they don't show up. They don't even care if they win. So it's never a round of applause moment. It's always just preset. So I don't want you to win Grammys. I want you guys to sell out every stadium, not just Wembley, every stadium in the world, because you guys rock. At Teddy, we were talking about Tony Hawk. As millennials, me and Matt obviously have the same kind of upbringing where video games really influenced our sound and what we really wanted to hear more of, or like really took us away from what our parents raised us on and said, hey, here's this new thing. Like, I got into Blood Brothers by Papa Roach, and that was like my first experience with nu metal. I didn't even know what nu metal was yet, but I heard it over and over because I was playing the game. What was a song or an artist that you got into to break into the genre of metal?
Holy crap. I really don't even I shit you not. All right, so this is after high school. I think it was, I was kind of like listening to like, so like 94 there was Candlebox, 95 was like different genres of music. 96, 97 I think is where I heard the first Soulfly album. The very first one. They had put a song called, I don't know what the hell it was called, but I hadn't heard it ever again. But then they put out the album Eye for an Eye, and I was like, what the fuck? And that was it. Kind of like I heard that, but even before then, I was already like, like my brother listened to a lot of the AC/DC, a lot of stuff like that, and I kind of like grew into that more of the punk rock. Like, he was listening to like kind of like the Chili Peppers, and then so much of like Voodoo Glow Skulls, stuff like that. And then when he left to the Air Force, I started, grinding on different music, and that was like one of the first albums that I listened to, and then I discovered Limp Bizkit through another friend of mine, and that's kind of like where new metal set the tone for what I was going into the millennial.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where I was like, dude, it's like holy shit.
Huge.
That's kind of where I got with that, and then the Corn and all them, and
Yeah.
the first album from Deftones, it was all like, dude, that was
System of a
it.
Down,
Yeah.
Suicidal Tendencies. I got into.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My
Suicidal's
coworker
always been
recommended
one
me.
of my favorites, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
same
would
here.
listen to them.
Fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
I love them, and I love Infectious Grooves also.
Yes.
Um, and like Faith No More. I'm a big Faith No More guy.
Mr. Bungle again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Faith No More, I like them, but I think you just, I don't know, man. I think when you hear them and you see how crazy they were, it was, to me, it was more like, nah. Like, I don't like the gimmick. But when you hear Mr. Bungle, you could tell.
Yeah,
How-
SOD
how-
also.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers of Death. I actually liked them a little bit more than Anthrax, just because you could tell, like with SOD, they were just having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they would just make like random shit, like the Ballad of Jimi Hendrix, where it's just the intro to Purple Haze, and he says he's dead, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like that's
That
the
was-
like that's the energy that I try to bring to Pulse Demon, is like, if we're creating music and we're having fun with it, then our job is done at the end of the day. Because I'm pretty sure Teddy can attest to this. Like when we write music, when we create music under the Pulse Demon name, we write it with two people in mind, and that's me and him. Like, as long as we think it's dope and we think it's sick, we'll fucking put it out. Like we don't put out music that's garbage, because we don't write garbage music. We never have. And even if we did, we could collectively say like, hey, like the song is trash. Like, let's just go back to the drawing board or what have you.
Yeah. So we have songs that we've written that will probably never see the light of day, because they're just not. It's just not there. You know what I'm saying? And usually with me, I'm a character where I can sit here and I'm like, yeah, I need to mess with that shit a little bit more before I do anything with that.
Mhm.
We have songs that he's even recorded to, and it's stuff that we still need to kind of like put stuff together, because we want high energy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We want to put out the best vocalist, the best guitars, drums, the hype, we want all that. That's what Pulse Demon set on.
Yeah.
So we were to sit here and pull it out like a melodic track from hell, and you'd be like, what the fuck? Then you become like, that's not us. So
yeah.
we want to put something, but we want to put something out that's gonna be like, oh shit. So that's why we kind of like we address different topics of who we are, of the, of our culture, of the Hispanic culture, the Latino culture, the Mexican American culture. We represent our city through it. We represent, how, maybe not changes, but we like to bring that to the forefront, but not depress the fuck out of somebody. We already have shit that's already bringing, our country down.
Yeah, exactly.
We already have that kind of shit. Why do we want to, represent something like that? Represent the angst of people, So when you go to show, you want to fucking let that shit out for that 35 minutes, that whether we're on stage or wherever we're at, you just let that shit out.
Yeah.
And that's what represents our music. And then we put our music out to where when you're out there, you're listening to in your car, just like when you did the reaction video, and you were just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That was
yeah, you were fucking into
exactly
it, man.
what we were. That's exactly what we want.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
If I wasn't in my car, I would have been dancing very cringely, but I would have been dancing. I would have had a great time.
Yeah, but see, that's the
headbanging
thing.
That's the thing.
But see, that's
we
the thing.
we encourage
want
all
you
of
to do
that.
Yeah, we want you to be a part of that, because we accept everybody. So we just want everybody to have fun, enjoy music, because you know what? We only get one life. We get one chance to do this shit.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, like you're going to be 50," and this dude's, I was like, and
who fucking cares?
Age
Like,
is
Fucking problem. You know
age
what I'm
is
saying?
only
This
in
is
your head.
like,
yeah, when our brains come together, like, you know, it's almost like lightning in a bottle, you know, like Teddy obviously does like majority of the writing and the production just because he's been doing it like way longer than any of us have. But when I come in and I add like my little Matt element to the music, it's almost like, you know, you got your hot dog, right? And then, you know, it's got a little bit of chili, and then I throw the cheese on top. You know, that's the,
Teddy's
that's the-
face right now.
like,
He's
I'm
so
fucking
lost.
hungry, y'all.
no, like literally, no, but
So you got the hot dog.
I was like, out of everything you would have compared this shit to, you can go to a
So
hot
you have
dog.
a pizza.
Hey, and it's a foot long as well, man.
That one thing he did for the Gorilla Boys is fucking eating a fucking pizza, and you can literally. I'm like, bro.
No, it was a fucking crunch wrap from Taco Bell. It was just like,
I'm like, that's why I leave that shit to him, dude. Because I mean, god damn it.
or and then that fucking thirst trap, or the fake thirst trap with that Pierce the Veil song that I was doing. Oh shit. That's what you have to do nowadays, man. Like, you kind of have to like just say fuck it and be stupid, be funny. Like, there's a lot of bands that are out there where like they don't like creating the content, they don't like putting videos out, but you kind of have to, because the way people are nowadays is they listen to you. Like, yes, you got to have banger music, yes, you got to have talent, yes, you got to have amazing music to back it up, you got to let the music speak for itself, but you also have to add like a personal element of it in there, because with the way the internet is, everybody's always online. So the way, because I could kind of tell, like, from like my generation, I could kind of tell like how these young cats are thinking. It's like, okay, we got a band, their music is cool, but how are their personalities? Like, are they jackasses? Are they fucking assholes? Or are they like really cool dudes? So having that personal element, like where we show our faces on camera and everything, I think that really does help like market our product and sell it a little bit more in terms of like a business aspect.
It's true. Also, you guys are good at marketing with just having the access that you do, Matt. You know, you've been killing it on TikTok for a long time. You've always been able to take something and make it something creative out of it. You know, it's more for me very challenging because I'm starting in TikTok and I don't even know how to make edits on regular boring videos. Like, I got nothing. So my editor, she's going to be taking all of these clips from the podcast and like zooming in and like adding little clips and stuff. And I'm like,
oh, hell yeah.
I don't know how to do
That'd
any
be
of that. So I got to have someone else on my team. You know, I don't have a team besides her. And so I'm like, I got to make sure that it looks as like fun as possible. Like, that's the thing is professionalism needs to go away when it comes to promotion, because if you're only professional, everyone's going to be like, oh, they just want my money. Or, oh, they're going to be a Finn McKenty. Like, they're going to be completely full of shit.
in this day and age, man, you have to be stupid at what you're doing because you have to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I'm like a little fucking kid, bro. Like, I get excited over dumb shit.
Well, authenticity is also a huge thing. Like, you have to be who you are, and they want to see that on screen. Like, you guys are who you are.
So when you get me and this dumbass together, dude, like, we're literally
we just talk shit to each other. Like
stupid shit.
Stupid shit. And it's like on our on our Facebook page, right? Like our personal Facebook pages, like, we're just talking shit about each other in the comments. And it got to the point where, like, I think like a cousin of mine or something had screenshotted his comment and he sent it to me, and he's like, they're like, hey, who the fuck is this Teddy Smith guy, dude? Like, do I need to fucking let him know who's boss or whatever? I'm like, no, dude, that's it's like, no, that's my fucking bandmate, bro. Like, don't take it seriously. No, because we say some stupid shit to each other. Like, he'll be like, he'll just call me up and be like, hey, fat ass, are you fucking eating again? Or are you taking a shit? Like, you know?
Well, that's brotherly love, man. I mean, you need that. You need to be as harsh as possible.
The way I always say to anybody is, like, if I don't talk shit to you and I don't make jokes and I don't do any of that, I don't like you.
He doesn't fucking like you.
Shit,
Yeah.
this is why I knew that Teddy wasn't going to respond to me because I was too nice to him the first time. I'm too busy.
He's probably like he's like, nah,
agreeing.
he's not light skinned enough.
Yeah, I wasn't really pushing back. I was just like, wait, no, he made a good point, and he was like, oh man, this guy can't talk shit. No, I can talk shit if I need to. I have to read the room, and if I don't know who the person is, I'm never gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna totally, demolish them.
Well, it's funny enough is that because as much as I'm a fucking weirdo like that, a lot of people don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Although I have a good personality, it's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm joking around with them, and they take it too literal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't. I'm not even gonna try. If I can't be who I am at all fucking times around you, I want nothing to do with it. And they're like, oh, well, you don't hit me up. And it's like, there's a reason for it, motherfucker. Like, you're too much of a fucking pussy to fucking sit there and take a fucking joke instead of fucking just being like, it's like, dude, if I offend you, I'm sorry. I'm really not sorry. It's like,
I'm sorry that you didn't get it. That's what
I'm sorry Daddy didn't play enough with you as a kid. Like, get the fuck out of here,
dude. You should have seen the video that he did, because we had gotten like one guy like mad dogging our shit. I don't even remember his fucking name. I think it was Mike or something on TikTok. Because what happened was we were in the process of putting out Berserk, which is currently our latest single, and it's a fucking banger. That one's probably the one song of ours that's a little more straightforward in terms of like the song structure, but we were really excited for it, and we really wanted to put it out. But
this is around when Ozzy passed.
This is around when Ozzy died. Yeah, so we uploaded the song to DistroKid like on a Saturday or a Sunday, and it was scheduled to come out that Friday. Well, Tuesday is when Ozzy passed, and Ozzy was literally the reason why I became a musician. He was like one of the first artists that I was hyper fixated on, and I grew up listening to him like all the fucking time. And this motherfucker is this fool calls me Shooter because I have a horrible habit of doing.
You seen Happy Gilmore, right? Yeah, dude. He says it.
Yeah, I do it.
Everything. Have you noticed in all the videos now that we're on this page? Every video, and he does it. And here's why.
Yeah, Teddy,
let's find out.
You gotta watch all my podcast episodes and realize I actually called myself out on later episodes. But if you hear me say absolutely, I'm usually completely at a loss for words. That's where I've agreed with the person. I have nothing to say, and I move on to something else. If I say the word absolutely, I have completely checked out. Like it always happens. Absolutely. Anyway,
so you're basically saying "fuck you." Got it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyways.
It's all the time. I have to do it because I know mentally if I don't move on from there, I'm just gonna sound completely full of shit. So I always say absolutely, tell sign, boom, new subject. But you guys are
basically
awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, so anyways, back to the story. So Tuesday, that's when Ozzy died, and I took it really bad. Like, there's only been 3 celebrity deaths that have impacted me like that. Ozzy was obviously one of them. Chester Bennington and Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, because that's like pretty much all of my personality in one little thing. So I thought it was kind of insensitive, given the fact that none of us would be here without Ozzy, because Sabbath is credited as the first metal band. Like, the genre that we play, the reason why a lot of these bands are able to put bread on the table is all because of him. Like, we owe a lot to him. Even if you're not influenced by his music, you still owe a lot to Ozzy, and to an extent his wife Sharon, because Ozfest, all the bands that we were influenced by, like Korn, Lamb of God, Il Nino, like, they got really big because of Ozfest. So that was like the festival that was getting all these people big. So we owe a lot to Oz for sure, like through and through. So I thought it was kind of insensitive if we were like promoting this song like in the light of his passing, because that week the whole metal community was was in mourning.
Oh man, I saw every single post. Every time I refreshed the page, a new post would come up from an account that I was following with a picture of him and just like how he affected their lives, their music, their taste.
Yeah, and you know, and it didn't matter if you were Slayer or if you were Green Day. You know, like Black Sabbath influenced like not just metal, but like the whole rock spectrum as a whole.
Absolutely.
So during that time, I had said, like, you know what, like we're still gonna put the song out, but we're gonna dedicate it to Ozzy because that motherfucker's life was berserk as shit. So we thought that it would be fitting, like, just to, you know, kind of dedicate it to him. The song wasn't about him, obviously, but it was like, hey, you know what? Like, you influenced me and Teddy, so, you know, this will be like our gift to you, like in light of the passing, right? So I put out a video that was basically saying that, like, you know, this song is scheduled to release. We're going to dedicate it to Ozzy. And then this one dickhead was in the comment section on TikTok and was like, oh, so like I hear no Ozzy influence in this fucking song at all. And like, you know, you're just using his name for clout. And the song is dog shit, by the way. And like, you know, ordinarily I would have been like, all right, fine, what the fuck ever. Like, it's cool. But like,
pin that.
I think the fact that he called our music dog shit is like, bitch, who the fuck are you? Like, we don't write dog shit music, fool. Like, like not everybody's gonna like it because, you know, our shit is very original and very different. Like, I don't think there's any other band that's doing a sound like we are. Maybe like one or two others off the top of my head, but not like what we're doing. So not everybody's gonna fuck with it, and that's cool. You know, like if you don't like it, that's fine. But the fact that this dude is like, you know, you're just using Ozzy's name for clout to promote your dog shit music. It's like, no, putito, like that's not what this fucking thing was about. So Teddy comes in and he just roasts the fuck out of this guy. He's like, oh, so you're just upset because, you know, your daddy didn't play with you enough as a kid? and we, you know, and the thing with me, and this is like, this is how I operate on my personal TikTok page. Like, if someone's talking shit, I immediately go to their page and be like, okay, what's this motherfucker about? Right.
Of course.
And in my experience, I've noticed that majority of the people that talk shit are the ones that don't have any content whatsoever, or they hide behind a private account. So it's like,
as soon as he came on, dude, I fucking Matt figured me out like really quick how I am. So as soon as I saw, I see stupid shit like that, I'm like, man, who the fuck are you? Like, fuck you and your fucking. And he fucking like he got pissed off and he like disappeared for like 4 days, and then he came back again.
He fucking came back, like he wasn't even following us. And it was funny because Matt got into him, and I never really seen Matt like get into like where he lays into people like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I saw him lay into this dude, I was like, oh, it's a proud moment here.
It's funny, and it's funny too because like around the time I put out like another video on the page, and I had said too in the beginning, like, you know, I don't have to prove myself to people. We don't have to prove ourselves to people, but me being like majority of the content that I put out is like educational music content. So I wanted to make sure that this person got their facts straight, right? Because we actually do have Ozzy influence in our music. Yeah. Like go back and listen to the lead that I wrote for the solo for I Am the God and tell me that does not sound like something Tony Iommi would have fucking written. Because that's literally who I had in mind when that's literally who I had in mind when I was writing that lead. Because if you listen to it, like, yeah, it's very bluesy and jazzy, of course, but like there's a hint, there's a sprinkle of Tony Iommi in there. That's the Sabbath influence. So like this guy obviously just didn't listen to any of our shit because there is some Ozzy and Sabbath influence in there. So maybe not as maybe not as much as like the Korn influence, for example, but it's in there.
As
I
a
think that
caveat from sorry about this. As a caveat, the thing I wanted to do was the Why I Owned It episode for Ordinary Man. I really, really wanted to talk about this album and like its impact on me. But you know why I didn't do it? Because one, I don't know enough about Ozzy Osbourne to actually say anything. Besides this album, I don't know much about him. Therefore, I don't have grounds to stand on. Two, I haven't heard everything from Black Sabbath, and I'm a guy that listens to discographies all the time. What's my excuse? Imagine that. I go on and I say, oh, he really affected me? That's not true. I'm like, oh, I'd be full of shit. And three, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? So I told Allison, I said, I'm just going to cut that. That won't have to happen because, I feel like I would walk into the firestorm.
Oh, yeah, dude. I think after what you're saying and what Matt said, I think when people hate on music like that is because it's something they're not used to. When it's new, it's different. It is not to your dedicated genre, like a Slipknot or Korn or fucking Deftones sound or whatever. And you can literally put them in a category. When you hear shit like ours, you can't put us in a category.
Yeah, and that's also
very off the wall.
That's also where music is pretty hard to market because, like, the Spotify algorithm, for example, they don't know where to fucking put us. Yeah. Like, one minute we're trap metal, the next minute we're cumbia with metalcore breakdowns. Like, nobody.
But when it's different and when it's new, it's they don't know where to put it. So to them, it's like, oh, that's not metal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you figure? Or that's not new metal. How do you figure? That's not. That's like that. That's a anti-gay shit. Like it freaks people out because it's not what they're used to is what people put out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of bands like even in the EDM scene. You have bass house, you have tech house, you have techno, hard techno, fucking big room. You have all types of shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these artists stay in one genre because that's how they get known.
Yeah.
Right. And then once they get known, they make a big name for themselves. They try out different genres to kind of expand their library.
True.
But I think this is what scares people and what moves people away is that you can't categorize us because you don't know where our next song is going to be at and where it's going to move. And just like with the new one, As the Titties, I mean, people are not going to expect that one, but when you hear it, you're gonna be like, oh shit, because
it's gonna go hard.
Because we were like, we're gonna put vocals to it. We're like, yeah, I'll find somebody. And through my personal SoundCloud, not the Teddy Smith artist, but I have my own personal one. I have people there I've known for like over 10, 12 years.
Yeah, and
they're the ones who do. I reach out, put stuff out, and they do the vocals. So the vocals are done. Everything is done. Now I just need to mix it down and master. When you hear it, you're just gonna be like, "What the hell?" And then with Matt's guitar, because I gave him the idea for where I was going with the song, and then when he kind of like came up with his own shit, is like, dude, when you hear it, you're gonna. It's a. If you were to hear it, it's gonna be like almost like a club banger. You're in the nightclub, but this is one where you can be in your ride, like you were just doing that, or you just take a drive, and you're listening to it, and you're just like
it's basically a club banger with slam riffs.
I'm all about that.
It's fucking great. It's fucking great.
I was gonna ask Teddy because Teddy has a little bit more time in the 90s. My dad had this thing called Forever Freestyle, which was a telemarketing commercial that we saw for just a bunch of like hits of freestyle type music. One of the songs that really got me into that was Look Into My Eyes by George Lamond. Have you heard that song?
Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking, because when we talk about metal with all these people that are like, hardcore into this stuff, I'm like, did they not grow up on anything else? Like, their parents didn't play anything else in the house? Their parents who were, you know, barely aware of who Ozzy Osbourne was, were obviously buying all of his albums and showing it to their kids. It's like, these people are full of shit, man. I grew up on disco and Motown. Do you think I'm a normal 90s
Yeah,
kid?
me too.
Fuck no. I grew up on that song. That was the song I chose. Everyone else was like, Every Time We Touch was the big song that we did for Karate Form. I chose that song. That song was awesome. And it will be forever because, I mean, George Lamont is just
shout out to
incredible.
Cascada, man.
Oh,
That song is a
Cascada.
fucking banger.
Yeah, I mean, they're still great. And now they're old school now. But like everything always comes from a form that is, you know, you have to respect where you come from, and you actually have to agree with the fact that, you know, you didn't get into that first. That wasn't the thing you grew up on. Like, you're not born and it's like, here's Black Sabbath. Like, it doesn't happen that way. It's a collective time that you have to have.
Yeah.
And, like, you've heard other genres. So people that are so elitist about it and like, oh, well, you don't know what real metal is. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. You were listening to what when you were growing up? You were listening to ABBA. You were listening to the Beatles. You were listening to the Beach Boys. Oh,
I was listening to fucking VeggieTales, fool.
VeggieTales, absolutely yes.
VeggieTales supports the hardcore scene. You cannot fucking tell me that the VeggieTales theme is not a slam song. Fight me.
Oh, speaking of Christians though, because of VeggieTales, there's a band. They are called The Thirsting, and they are connecting Green Day with choir music from church, like actual hymns, and creating a Green Day sound for it. It sounds awesome, and I did not expect that this year.
I'm gonna fucking check that out.
Yes,
because I told you last time I was on the show, like I went through Catholic school, like I was there from kindergarten to 6th grade, so. And I listened to a lot of Green Day at the time too, so that's like a match made in heaven for you,
dude. It's so good. I will send it to you. They're probably influenced by Bad Religion as well.
It's funny because in my household, my parents didn't listen to a lot of music, so I think if anything, like my parents listened to like more, you know, the Spanish and country. My dad was big into country, so was my mom.
Yeah, my dad was big into country as well.
By the way, country created rock and roll. Let's remember that. For all those people that are like, we know real metal.
This is when I remember when I was 8, 9 years old, dude, and when my sister and my brother were still around, you know, I would listen to whatever was on the radio, and I didn't know artists from shit. So, you know, my sister listened to like, you know, Duran Duran, the Jake Isles band, Tears for Fears, stuff like that. So, and you know, I didn't know who they were up until I started listening to them, and I was like, oh shit, you know. But like, you know, but when people ask me like, you know, how was it? My era was different compared to anybody else's. Just like you could compare from 60s, 40s, you know, all the way down the line. Music was different for everybody, and sometimes you just grow into it. You know, and I grew into what I grew into, and but I, you know, like I always tell everybody, it's like I refer everything to the old schools because that's where I'm from. That's my shit. So I want, like, even with my EDM, if I'm making remixes, I don't want to do anything new. I want to do something I haven't heard in a very fucking long time. And I did a remix of old Sneaker Pimps song, Spin Spin Sugar. It was a club fucking banger, fucking and right around the 2000 era. And I was like, dude, I remember finding that shit one time out of fucking nowhere. I was like, what the fuck? I remember this song since like fucking 98, 99. And then like, I never heard of that, bitch. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And when you hear it, you're like, oh shit. So I did a remix of that song. And I couldn't put the original remix that I made because copyright.
Yeah.
So, but I ended up putting it out on my SoundCloud, and before it got taken down because of copyright, I had a lot of hits on it. But people were like, "Oh, damn, dude!" Like, you know, all the old school hits. So, but even with metal, I try to like keep it as new and as fresh as possible, that it'll captivate the new heads, but also keep it as old school as I can, because I mean, for me, metal was just metal. It was in your face. It was fucking raw. It was never overproduced. It was never this. It was never that. And I think collectively, if we had a drummer, you know, I think, you know, if we would record like an album or whatever, put us in a room, like a tape deck or whatever, put a couple of mics here and there, record us. That'll be our sound.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we would do that, you would get who we really are.
Yeah.
We're not about genres. We're not about how having a polished sound. We're not about this. We're not about that. It's just like
we just want to talk
about that.
We just want to get together. Like we might have a song down the line that'll have like fucking banjo in it randomly. You know, like if we fuck with it, we fuck with it. You know.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to.
Chicago was famous for one thing, and that was being the band with horns. The only band besides the Beatles that has sold like that amount of records and has that kind of, you know, public image when you think of a rock and roll band. And yet they started with Baby What a Big Surprise, where it was all pop and simple and sweet, and all the girls were like, oh, this is such a cute little song. But then they have 25 or 624, which has the same riff from Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You by Led Zeppelin, and just adds a little bit more to that than they already heard from the year before. And it just shows that these bands don't fit into one specific set. But when they do, when they freestyle, when they do whatever they want to, they're going jazz, because we all go back to jazz. So anytime people think about like something being new and original, I'm like, jazz did it. It's like Simpsons did it from South Park.
Yeah,
you know?
Simpsons did it.
It's jazz did it.
If you ever listen to Beastie Boys, there's an album they put out where they just kind of like the way I said it, they just recorded it in the room.
Nice.
It was a jazz hip hop collective, you know, and it put some punk element songs to it. But this was before they were signed to the label, the Grand Royal label.
Yeah.
And when you hear that album, dude, you hear the way the drums sound raw. You hear the mix. The mix is cleaned up a little bit, but I was like, dude, that was probably done like fucking around the same time.
So true.
And they were just kids, you know, they were in their apartment or whatever, and they just recorded.
Modern groups, Suicide Boys, they were hardcore. Thanks to Finn McKenty for a fucking fact.
Fuck that
but
guy,
it's true, man. It's true. Like these, you know, we have an expectation that the band always has been one specific thing, but they all had to start experimenting. They all had to play something that they loved, and that's what you guys are doing.
Look at Zach De La Roca from Rage Against the Machine. He was in a hardcore band too. Fall Out Boy. All those guys, they all come from the hardcore scene. Yeah. Even my boy Travie McCoy of Gym Class Heroes, he was a hardcore drummer and a hardcore vocalist. He just so happened to know how to freestyle. Yeah. And then Gym Class Heroes fucking exploded.
And then what did the label do? They said, hey, can you stick to that one thing that everyone else is doing, because it doesn't sound good when you play the stuff you love.
Exactly.
It's so disgusting. I hate labels. But yeah, I'm really happy you guys came here. I'm really happy we could talk about music as deep as we wanted to. I love your personalities overall. I'd love to have you back on after the new single drops, by the way. Ass and Titties coming soon to you guys. Get ready to see their shows in Texas. It's in Texas, right? Both of those that are coming up on October 4th and October 11th. My dad's birthday. I'll be actually seeing a band that night that was also on the podcast a couple weeks ago. So just music is keeping all of us alive. It's literally in our veins. It's pulsing through our blood, and we gotta release the demon inside of us and actually fucking rock out and have a great time listening to music. If you guys haven't seen my reaction for what is it called?
Back with the Boom.
Back with the Boom. Thank you. It reminded me of Boom by POD at times, and I will say that that kind of, you know, wording of course brings back that memory, but it's also the energy that I got from the first time hearing Boom, out of all things, from the movie Here Comes the Boom.
Oh fuck yeah, I love that movie.
But Satellite,
and it'll get our music will get put back on everywhere. Just because you know, there was I think we could talk about it, right? Like briefly. Yeah. So Teddy's homeboy, the guy who did vocals on Back with the Boom, he was signed to a label in Europe, somewhere in Europe. I forget exactly where. Amsterdam. And that label recently went down, like they went bankrupt. And the owner of said label started going after all of the artist masters. And the thing with our homeboy, you know, and shout out to him, this ain't a diss toward him or anything like that. It was just a freak accident that happened. He has done vocals for a lot of different projects. Like he actually has a sample pack that's out there that you could license. So you can throw, you know, his vocals on whatever it is that you're working on, as long as you pay the licensing fee.
Nice.
So anybody that used that sample pack, anybody that had a feature with him on it, all of their music got flagged, including us. But the thing with us is that, like, you know, we had told the guy, like, hey, we want original vocals. We don't want something that's attached to one of your sample packs. And whatever you do vocally, whatever you write lyrically, like, that's going to be ours to own.
Yeah.
And he was cool with it because, you know, he's a genuine fan of our craft and he believes in the vision. So he was completely fine with essentially donating his talents to us. And for that, we're forever grateful. But the owner of this label went after all of those masters, including our stuff, and DistroKid had flagged it. And they were like, hey, y'all ain't going to be able to upload anything for at least like 3 or 4 months while they were settling, I guess, the stuff out of court. Because in their country, in Amsterdam, it's actually illegal for the owner of the label to claim copyright, because in their country, and I really wish it was the same case here in the fucking States, the copyright owner is the artist in question. So our homeboy literally owns all of those copyrights in terms of like their country's constitution or however that works.
Based because his voice is on it?
Yeah, because his voice is on it. Yeah, he owns it. Yeah.
Even
like
though it's been signed off that he agreed to let you guys have that, he still, because biologically he's on it.
I'm like I said, with copyright laws, they're very weird. You know what I'm saying? So
they always have been.
Yeah, so say like if like with you, Dan, that you had a band, you're a singer, your label, whatever, and we asked you to do vocals for us, and even though you're doing vocals for us, and then you want to release it on your end, or your label that you have a label on, well, essentially here in the United States, that's double copyright, so they own it, you own it, and so say if you want to use it for monetization, whatever, they take part of that. Right. So the laws are different over there. And now I don't know how the laws work over there, but he was like, he's on a like a shit ton of music out there that does with the European hardcore dance scene over there. So he does a lot of MC shout outs to different groups, whatever he's into over there. So, but those belong not just to him, but they belong to the artists that are using them. And if they're on the label, it belongs to them. They can manipulate them how they want, however that has. But for whatever reason, this label decided that they were coming after everything that not only he did, but everybody that was signed to that label.
And any lyrics he wrote too, probably, right?
Yeah, everything. They were coming after everything.
Well, it's, you know, y'all are kind of like saying you're signed to our label, so everything that you own is mine.
Oh.
And even if you did guest vocals for such and such a band, they're ours too.
It's not fair.
Yeah. And so it was kind of weird. It didn't make any sense to me, but so he kind of explained it. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so basically this label is trying to collect on money. So when they filed for bankruptcy or whatever that happened, they didn't want to end up where they had nothing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you guys did make $1 trillion from that song.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
they want to take whatever they can.
That 64 cents was a lot. I mean,
it's not a lot of fun. I'm driving my fucking Lambo right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. I hate.
So they ended up taking care of it and whatever else. And I don't know how it ended up. Whatever. I didn't get the whole story on that.
Yeah, they settled it on their end.
So now it's up to DistroKid to finally get their where we can start releasing it. But I was like, shit, we had just paid for our subscription to be on there for another fucking year.
Yeah.
And then this happens. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, I was asking man, I was like, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, we wait. I guess we can wait. And I was like, well, they got to drag their feet a little bit, and that's what they're kind of doing. I haven't heard shit from them, from DistroKid, about whether we can start putting stuff on there. So I was like, we got to look for other avenues, and of that's with YouTube, that's with SoundCloud, and there's other distributions that'll let you put stuff on there. And I was like, well, we have to. You know,
we've been looking into a couple of them.
Watch in the future, because when they say, "Oh, well, you can't have this vocalist anymore," but we found an AI model that'll sound just like the vocalist, so you can record it with this. That's what they'll fucking do. They'll be like, "Wait a second, we understand. We're not gonna take that guy away. We found an AI replacement." That's what they're gonna do in the future. They're not gonna be like, "Let's make amends with this." And I'm sorry that happened, but I know that you guys are fighting the good fight. You're trying to get it back. That song is awesome. Once again, everybody that has not seen it, Back with the Boom, my reaction is still up. I don't know how I didn't get striked if all this shit was happening, so I'm happy that it never
weird, dude. Like
away.
I said, even a friend of mine said that he's still, I think even with Matt, it's still on iTunes.
Okay, yeah. So Apple is
it's still everything. All of our music is still on Apple Music, but it got taken off of YouTube. It got taken off of SoundCloud. It got taken off everywhere but Apple for whatever fucking reason.
China really loves your stuff.
So I don't know what happened. I've already emailed DistroKid and I was like, hey, dude, what's really fucking going on? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
And I was like,
because they said it was gonna be. They said it was only gonna be like for a week, because when that initially happened, they settled it right away. It was like once we got the news, maybe like 3 or 4 days later, they said, hey, everything is good on our end. But DistroKid also told us your music is still scheduled to get pulled, but it's gonna immediately come back after like a week or so.
Okay.
And it's been like a month. And
it's been about a month. But I think what also is happening, if I'm not mistaken, is that not just with the homebo we use, but also that he did other projects with other artists on other labels, and I think that's maybe what's holding it back. But other than that, I'm like, when I put it up there and I uploaded everything, their original lyrics. We have he sent them to me. He's like, they're yours. He's like, we ever see each other on that spectrum, he's like, but these are your lyrics, these are you guys own them, I wrote them for you guys. And
we still got the original stems and everything too.
This is
he's like everything, he's like PayPal. He's like, I love you guys, he's I love y'all's music, I love the sound, I love everything, man. He's like, so these lyrics are you guys, so that way if y'all ever make a lyric video or whatever else, he's like, you don't have to connect me to them, you don't have to tag me in them if you don't want to, or whatever else because of it. And I'm like, and I was like, don't even sweat, dude. You did, we're gonna put you out there no matter what.
Yeah.
Because you're a contributor to our music. So I mean, that song, like I said, that song is a banger, dude. So why wouldn't we want to put you on there at all? And so either way, besides this whole mess, we're gonna get it. We like, even with Berserk that's out, we're gonna still redistribute that. And then with the new one we're coming out, we're gonna put it out no matter what, and it ain't nothing gonna stop us from doing it. It's our livelihood, it's our music. We don't make money off this shit. No. We're not doing it for any of that shit. We're just doing it because this is what we do. This is what we love.
Yeah. It's like therapy for us. When I'm behind the mic, or when I'm playing my guitar, at that particular point in time, like even with like the Gorilla Boys rehearsals that we've been doing. When I'm in there in the rehearsals and I'm in my element, I'm in my zone, like I'm just forgetting about everything that's going on in my life. Like I'm forgetting about stress. I'm forgetting about drama. I'm forgetting about all of that. Like for the 2 hours or so that we're rehearsing, the 2 hours or so that I'm playing my guitar, it's my escape. I literally don't know how else to describe it.
And it's what you need, man. I mean, music is therapy. It's a form of therapy. It's scientifically proven. There is music therapy that you can sign up to be a therapist and offer music to help other people. And, it
That's
helps
true.
Every musician out there that creates, whether you're making covers or whether you're making originals, there's something about it that really speaks to your soul, and you can help others feel that same feeling just because of the, you know, right side of the brain. You can use that creative energy and you can share it with others. That's what I really love, when covers are changed up and made differently. And I'll finish off with this. One of the best bands I saw from Texas, out of all places, was Upon a Burning Body, and their opening act was incredible. They were the Browning, and the Browning
shit.
covered Blue from Eiffel 76. I think that's what it is. And they were fucking awesome. The whole time they played like techno music between each part of their set. You can see the whole thing on my YouTube channel. Every single song would finish, and it's like almost deathcore, and it goes straight into the beats. And this dude is just like, "Come on, let's go, 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 go!" Like, he's just having a great fucking time. It's a party. It's what you guys were saying before. It's that release that you guys want from your people. You don't want anyone to feel outcasted. You don't want anyone from any race to have a specific expectation. It's all just have fun, listen to music, gather together, create this community, and, you know, just support real, actual fucking great shit, because like you said, you don't make garbage music. So
and when we are able to play live, once we're able to figure out like the live elements of Pulse Demon, it's pretty much going to be that same energy. Like, it's going to be like the minute that we hit the stage, it's going to be a fucking party. And you know, y'all are free to do whatever you want. You could dance, you could bring glow sticks, you could mosh, you could fucking crowd surf, you know, you could do whatever the fuck you want. And we encourage all of it.
Kick people in the face. What the fuck's up, Denny's?
Exactly, man. That's what we do, man.
Bum rush the stage if you want. Like,
wall of death.
That's what we do. I mean, that's a
hell yeah.
That's the type of people who we are. You know, sometimes we're laid back and, you know, we're chilling and all that. I go, but no half the time it's like, you know, we don't need alcohol to be the fucking dumbasses that we are sometimes. You know, we're out there and we're, you know, when he's doing vocals or whatever, the last one, you know, I was jumping around, you know, just feeling that shit. And it feels good to do that. You know what I'm saying?
We're two halves of a whole idiot.
I love it. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining me. And everybody that was listening to this, you're absolutely epic. If you watched the whole thing on YouTube, this is awesome, because this is the first time I've had two guests on, technically, on two different screens. So I don't know how it's going to look in the final product, but I'm really excited. Matt Cantu is an amazing dude. He creates incredible music on his own. He also has plenty of like covers, I guess you could say, of incredible TV shows. I was talking about cartoons, Cartoon Network. Check out the After Hours EP. It's awesome. Teddy here, legend of the scene. Most of his music's not going to be found anywhere but SoundCloud, but go and check that out. I'll make sure to have the links in the description for both these incredible gentlemen down below. And along with that, we're going to make sure Pulse Demon, of course, gets its main comeuppance, because this is the reason that we're all here right now. I'm really happy to promote something that's totally different and fucking amazing at the same time. And I think that you guys would really enjoy it if you're into some really strange music and Mr. Bungle, you know, tickles your fancy. Then these guys are going to make something fucking cool that you're going to love. No doubt about it. Once again, thanks guys for being here. This was a great conversation.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you for having us on, man. That was a great outro though, man. Shit.
Hell yeah, dude. And we're gonna tickle people's buttholes.
Oh shit. You get a tittle.
Oh, that was so good. It knocked my headphones off. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching another amazing episode of the Media Man Dan podcast. I hope you guys have an amazing day and stay safe out there. Peace.